Awesome. I think we should be going. Recording in progress. Hey, everyone. This is BJ Viau, founder of HD Genetics, and Wes Solem here to give you the October HD community update. It's really meant to be informal but formal way of just communicating with the community, sharing what we've been up to, allowing folks to answer questions, and also sharing what's new as we're a new healthcare startup who offers genetic counseling and testing. Things are always changing, so we want to make sure that we're providing the latest and greatest updates from our end and allowing just some conversation from folks if you have any. So if you attended our September update, it's going to be a lot of the same slides. If you didn't attend the September update, then it's going to be a lot of new stuff. And we hope to do this every month with different topics and maybe some different speakers throughout. But for the meantime, should probably take 15 minutes. And if you have any questions throughout the session, please enter it into the chat, raise your hand, or you can shoot us an email at gc@hdgenetics.com. But HD Genetics as a whole, if you don't know much about us, we are a healthcare company specifically offering best-in-class genetic testing and counseling to individuals who are at risk for Huntington's disease, specifically those who are living in the United States and who are older than 18 years old. But also what we do is we do this all virtually through telehealth with Wes here, who's our licensed genetic counselor. So there's no in-person requirements. There's a huge request in the HD community for doing testing anonymously, which we allow this to be done with. We allow folks to do pre-test genetic counseling at no obligation or no cost. They can speak to Wes or others on our genetic counseling team at no cost. You only pay if you move forward with testing. And then I mentioned all virtual. This is all done via a saliva collection kit with our partner CLIA certified laboratory called Prevention Genetics. And we're a company fully focused on Huntington's disease. I'll share a little bit about Wes and I's background, but this is our pride and joy, our passion, our purpose. So we really pride ourselves in being experts in everything HD, whether it's genetic testing or counseling, or connecting you to the right resources after you're done testing. So we'll talk a little bit more about our process, but a little bit first on who we are. As I said, my name is BJ Viau, created this company. It's been a handful of years in the making. I've been in the HD space for 25 years since my mom was diagnosed with Huntington's disease. She passed away in 2011 after, your kind of a standard 15-year progression of the condition. I've been involved in many years. This was a picture of my mom and myself back in 1995. We held community fundraisers for the Huntington's Disease Society of America, went on to be a co-founder of the Huntington's Disease Youth Organization, have worked in the pharmaceutical industry on the Huntington side, and now have turned my passion for Huntington's and entrepreneurship into HD Genetics. And that really came to fruition when I met Wes. Wes was a genetic counseling master's student at Johns Hopkins, NIH, and had already had a passion for HD when he started working in Jeff Carroll, the founder of HD Buzz's lab, a few years before genetic counseling school. Wes did his thesis focus on how COVID-19 shifted the way genetic counseling and testing was offered specifically in the Huntington's disease community. So about a year and a half ago, we decided to team up and create HD Genetics and really bring it to life. So both of us are super excited to bring that personal passion and our professional passion into our offerings that we'll talk a little more about. This is our team in general. It's Wes and I. We have one other. The slide needs to be updated. We also have some consulting neurologists who work with us to help order tests in certain states. We work with a few community advocates, people who are impacted from HD families, who have a say in the service that we created and how it's offered. And then we also have a genetic advisory board of volunteers who are physicians, business professionals, genetic counselors, and just people with a passion to help families with HD. So a lot of thanks to everyone on the screen. Would not be possible without everybody here. So in general, getting started today, we have a service and a platform that offers individuals a new option to undergo genetic counseling and genetic testing, really from the comfort of your couch or wherever you might prefer. We offer this to people who are at risk of Huntington's, who are 18 years or older, who are interested in pursuing on their own genetic counseling and testing, and living in the United States. Currently, we're working through a handful of licensure laws. So we are available to provide counseling and testing in all of these states listed below, but we can also offer no cost genetic counseling in all 50 states. But if it's not listed in one of these states above, we have a little bit of a hurdle we're working through to actually provide the testing. If individuals are interested in getting started, they can go to this website and fill out an intake questionnaire. And I'm going to pass it over to Wes in a couple slides, who's going to talk through our 5-step process at HD Genetics. What's new since last month? As I mentioned, we held a stakeholder webinar, and we're going to do this every month. So just here's what's new. What wasn't on those slides is just in the last month, we're now open in 11 new states. So a month ago, we were not open in Alabama, Arkansas, California, Connecticut, Indiana, Iowa, Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, Montana, Washington. We are now open in those states, and this is a growing list, changing really every day, every week, every month. We hope to be open in all 50 states by the end of the calendar year. One of those reasons that we're open in more states is we brought on Erin Nordquist as a part-time licensed genetic counselor. Erin has a passion for Huntington's disease. She used to work at Providence Medical Group, which collaborated with the HDSA Center of Excellence at the University of Washington to provide genetic counseling and testing to individuals who were at risk for HD. So really happy to have Erin on, expand our reach, expand our abilities, and really bring in additional passion to help this community. And we were on the move. We were in Nashville for the Help for HD Family Symposium in early October, interacting with families, interacting with physicians, the pharmaceutical industry, spreading word about our services, and really having a great time. Help for HD, in partnership with the Vanderbilt Center of Excellence and the HDSA, put on an amazing one-day event. So really excited to be out there, and we're looking forward to attending more events down the road. Wes, I'll pass it over to you if you want to do a little bit more of an intro to yourself and really talk through the 5-step process, which you lead with all of our clients going through the process.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Wes Solem. I'm a genetic counselor working with HD Genetics. Just to kind of give an overview of our process, the first thing to come up is the intake questionnaire. So if someone is interested in our services, whether that's just generally genetic counseling, so talking about an HD risk or talking about experience with HD, or just kind of curious about various things having to do with HD or testing for HD, you would go to our website, hdgenetics.com, and fill out an intake questionnaire, which should take somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes. When you submit that questionnaire, someone on our team, usually myself, will give you a call to kind of confirm these details, ask a few other questions, and then also set up your first genetic counseling appointment. After that, we'll have that first genetic counseling appointment, which will be a video call with a licensed genetic counselor, which currently would either be myself or Erin. We would answer any questions that you may have about the testing process, about Huntington's disease, and so on. And then also kind of talk about testing if that's what you're looking for. At the end of this session, we would see, is this the next best step forward? Does everyone agree? And if that's the case, we would move forward with testing by sending a saliva collection kit in the mail. So this would be shipped from our partner lab that BJ mentioned earlier, Prevention Genetics, would arrive to someone's house somewhere between 3 to 5 days after that confirmation that they want to undergo testing. From there, you would get a saliva collection kit in the mail. That's essentially a plastic tube that we kind of conversationally call a spit kit, because it's a plastic tube that you open up the top and put saliva in there up to a certain point, and then close it up, put it in a prepaid return shipping envelope, drop it in the mail, and then it goes to our partner laboratory for analysis. From there, it'll take about 2 to 3 weeks for them to conduct the analysis of the DNA sample. So all in, the shortest possible process from getting started to the end of receiving results could be as short as about a month. Now, that's not to say that all of these processes would be a month or that we recommend that it's that short. That's just the shortest that it could be. From there, we would have a results appointment. that we would set up. After you submit this saliva collection kit back in the mail, we would ask that you inform us that you've dropped it in the mail, so that at that point we could set up this additional genetic counseling visit to go over the results of that DNA test. In going over those results, we would ask that the individual, ask whatever is best for them, whether they would want to just receive those results right away and then have a follow-up maybe 2 weeks out from our results disclosure visit, or if they would like to have kind of a prolonged conversation and have any questions or concerns that maybe they want to discuss. Regardless of what we discussed prior, we will still reach out about 2 weeks out, just to see how folks are doing after receiving their results. And that's the fifth point there. So let's see. We want to make sure, this is a good point on the end of this fifth point, that we want to make sure that everyone knows that even though we're kind of doing a hard definition here of a 5-step process, our door is always open. So it's not that our services are restricted to these 5 steps. If after the process anyone ever has any sort of questions or thoughts or concerns or wondering anything about HD, we hope that they know that they can come to us either by email, text, or phone for us to kind of help find that answer they're looking for. These are some quick facts and FAQs that kind of come up, frequently asked questions, that we have a little few tidbits to kind of go over. So our cost is $500 flat. We do not go through insurance. So this is a quote unquote cash pay business, meaning if someone would like to undergo genetic testing, then that will cost $500 flat. The genetic counseling appointments leading up to the actual testing are all free. So there is only a charge if and when someone decides that genetic testing is the next best step for them and we move forward with testing. If someone sees $500 as a barrier, if it's maybe too expensive, then that's negotiable. We want to make sure that everyone is able to get the care that they need. So if someone needs some financial assistance or some sort of conversation about that, then that is more than welcome. As I mentioned earlier, this is about a 1-month process at its shortest, but it could be longer. So if someone wants to have additional conversations about the testing process, or maybe just not too sure about undergoing testing right now, that's entirely fine. And in fact, you don't have to test. And we would much rather continue these conversations until someone feels like, this is something that I am for sure ready to undergo now. We're currently available in 24 states. So we're making our way to half of the US, which is absolutely thrilling. It's every week we get a couple more states added to our list, and we're looking forward to reaching all 50. All of our software is HIPAA compliant. We took a lot of time and energy in establishing HD Genetics to make sure that all of our tools that we have at our disposal and to utilize are all HIPAA compliant and as safe and secure as possible. The only persons that have data related to persons undergoing testing are us at HD Genetics and our partner lab Prevention Genetics, as well as once we receive those results, if you want to receive those results, then you. And finally, it's very important that we make sure that folks know that anonymous testing is available through HD Genetics. So if folks want to undergo testing with a different name, that is something that we offer. And in fact, depending on your definition of anonymity, we're not going through insurance. And as I just mentioned a moment ago, the only folks that know about this testing process even taking place are Prevention Genetics, HD Genetics, and yourself. So it's very close to the chest for this business.
Awesome. Thanks, Wes. And one question we always get is in the HD world, genetic testing has always been thought of as you give blood. Is there anything you can provide too about, saliva versus blood and just them being equal?
Yeah, absolutely. So, historically, conventionally, folks would give blood for DNA analysis. That's very true. And that's kind of a stem from clinical care, in-person care of, needing some way of doing DNA analysis. Often academic medical centers will have a lab either in-house or have a partnership or some sort of system worked out with someone like LabCorp or Quest or something like that to go get blood draws in order to undergo testing and that sort of thing. So since, let's say, this is pre-COVID, this was happening before COVID, but during COVID, there was a huge spike in the use of saliva for DNA analysis to allow for at-home DNA testing methodology. So if folks wanted to submit a DNA sample but weren't really able to get to, say, a in-person clinic or like a LabCorp or Quest or something like that, you were able to instead spit into this plastic tube, the spit kit, as we talked about a minute ago, and submit that for DNA analysis. The DNA in saliva versus the DNA in blood, these are all going to look for the same things that we're looking for regardless for Huntington's disease, being this expanded Huntington gene. This is what we call a germline mutation, meaning it's something that you're born with. It's not something that would be different in your blood's DNA versus your saliva's DNA. This would be in all of the cells of your body. And that's kind of keeping it as simple as possible.
Awesome. Thanks, Wes.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 slides, and then we'll be done for the day. But essentially, this slide is just meant to show we're trying to work with multiple stakeholders to improve, the lives of people impacted by HD. For people impacted by HD, specifically those at risk, we want to provide a service that is, incredibly customized for the individual. Whether that's being, anonymous, virtual, hopefully a low cost, the support we provide, we're really trying to cater custom and continue to improve this service to make it as positive as possible in a situation that I know personally is incredibly emotional. So hopefully the service we've been providing to individuals and can continue to provide in the future is something that's very impactful to everyone going through it. For HD clinics and HCPs, we want to be a partner. We want to partner to help provide the best counseling and testing to individuals who aren't able to get to an HD center, who already have the proper resources. So if you can't make it to a center of excellence for whatever reason, maybe there's distance, cost, they don't provide the anonymous needs, we want to help that individual get the right testing and the right counseling for themselves. We also know that there's a lot of healthcare professionals, physicians that don't have access to a genetic counselor. So this is a way that everyone in the Huntington's disease community should have access to a genetic counselor. And also we want to be able to provide referrals back to centers of excellence when people need care or they want to get involved with a clinical trial. That's not something we do at HD Genetics. So we will look to connect folks with the larger centers of excellence who are the top-notch places to get care and get connected to clinical trials, making the individuals that we work with aware of those resources. In the pharmaceutical biotech industry, we really look to all of you as partners in this. We want to help find individuals who might be interested in clinical trials and help educate them about the opportunities that might be in front of them. We want to help educate and engage the patient community so they're understanding of what is happening. We at HD Genetics believes there's going to be a shift with medicines continuing to be developed for people earlier on in HD and hopefully one day being developed for people who don't yet have symptoms of HD. We think genetic counseling and testing is going to be imperative to help all the individuals and work together. So in general, HD Genetics is here to partner with everybody. If we didn't mention you, doesn't mean we're not thinking about you. And we look forward to having the conversations and continuing to improve healthcare and access to education and resources for everyone. And lastly, if we can help with anything, it could be genetic testing and counseling, it could be anything involving the Huntington's community, reach out to us. Wes, for anything really specific genetic testing and counseling wise, for myself, for anything HD Genetics or HD community wise, we're very accessible. find us on social media. You can follow our handles. Like I mentioned at the start of the webinar, we were at the Help for HD Family Conference in Nashville. Next week, we're going to be at the Huntington Study Group and Huntington Study Group Family Day in Tampa Bay. We'll have a table. We'll be presented, we will be presenting a poster, and we really look forward to interacting with all kinds of different stakeholders in Tampa and at many more events down the line. So if there aren't any other questions, just want to thank everybody for your time today, your interest in HD genetics, and hopefully the opportunity to connect with you in the future. So thanks for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.